And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition here of the PondCast. The PondCast, episode number 92, your weekly dose of all things StarCraft. I'm, of course, your VIP, with you, and joined by, of course, our lovely producer Kuro behind the scenes, and also the lovely people in the chat as well. Welcome, one all, to our weekly wrap-up show. Again, we do cover all things StarCraft and StarCraft adjacent. I do apologize for not going live last week. We just had no room in our schedule. We were just so busy with GSL, with RSL, with all the open cups as well. There was just no time to have the podcast, so that means we have even more to catch up on. Double the podcast, double the topics, plenty to delve into. Now, I will say, because there's just so many tournaments to actually go through, we are pushing some news to next week. Bear that in mind. That is going to be the StarCraft Evolution patch that just came out, the 1.19. We'll be discussing that next week. Likewise, also discussing the Beyond the Ladder podcast episode alongside Les Podcasters as well. So there's a couple of podcasts that did take place we'll be discussing next week alongside the Evo patch as well. Outside of that, though, there's a lot to get into. There's a lot to get into here. First things first, of course, when it comes to our StarCraft news, is this month's top contributors for Wikipedia, for the SE2 side of Wikipedia. So we do have our top list here. Again, shout out to HJP Alpha for coming first place, Cynical Death, Kashim, Kuro, and Hyper One as well for being the most active contributors on the Wikipedia for StarCraft 2. Likewise, I also got in there, top 13. How? We need more contributors, is what I'm saying. Again, as I said before, this is just me updating our tournaments. That's all that is. Just updating our tournaments, updating our VODs, maybe some Ubu Thermal tournaments and adminning and things of that nature. But again, I'm not really doing much. You can get up there yourself. You can earn your silver coin if you do decide to contribute. As I mentioned previously, there is room for contributions, especially if you're in the NA time zone, whether in Latin America or North America. But at the moment, a lot of the contributors are based, you can see here, a lot of them are based in Europe, and actually barely any based in the Americas region. So whenever there's events happening in the Americas time slot, often those brackets aren't being updated. Brackets, casters, often they're not being updated until the Europeans wake up in the morning. So if you happen to be from the region, then do consider also stepping in and also contributing where you can and updating some brackets or other things of that nature, right? Like updating some player profiles or streams that are going on, or whatever you see that is maybe outdated, or there's data to be added, then you can step in and do so yourself. Can do so if you wish. But again, regardless, shout out to the top contributors of the month. Shout out to Kuro, of course, getting top 4, and I slipped in there, top 13 somehow. Meanwhile, we're going to be heading on over here. Another big piece of news was announced recently, which is Diablo Immortal. They're going to be having a crossover event with StarCraft. When I first saw this, I was like, hold on, didn't we already have a crossover event? But that was with Diablo. The base game. This is for Diablo Immortal, which is the mobile version of Diablo. It's a separate game, separate entity. But they have announced a StarCraft collaboration, which is good news. All in all, I personally don't really play Diablo Immortal. I don't really play many said mobile MOBA games, or mobile action RPGs, I should say. But for those that do, they will have the ability to actually embrace some StarCraft. There are StarCraft portraits, there are pets. There's now, I think, the Baneling and the Immortal, Zergling and the Immortal are going to be added as pets. There's going to be other aesthetics, sprays, skins, stickers, and other things, and also some transmogs as well. Some StarCraft-related transmogs, all added to the game so you can enjoy StarCraft. The reason why I say that this is good news is as something that we have been mentioning and we've been harping on for the past year at this point. And that is the fact that ever since Microsoft's acquisition of Blizzard, they have been using the StarCraft IP in more and more events, whether it's the StarCraft miniatures game, whether it's this crossover here, whether it's other crossovers in Hearthstone, which was last year, if you recall. That was that big crossover Hearthstone event with StarCraft that a bunch of people were raving about, and other crossover events amongst other games. Again, this is all good news. Obviously, people, they want a StarCraft 3, but we're building up towards it, or even sharing the StarCraft IP by creating that FPS that Nexon is working on. So there's a lot of things being done with the StarCraft IP. No, StarCraft 3 on the horizon or anything like that, but still good things nonetheless. If this gains traction, if this is successful, then there's more and more reason for Blizzard to look, or for Microsoft Blizzard to look at the StarCraft IP and do even more with it as well. So great to hear. Great to hear. Up next, we have our tournament results. And again, there's a lot of tournaments to go into. Oh boy, let's go. First things first, the Team Liquid map contest. Now, something alongside this, actually, which we should also mention, playing ourselves, is the TLMC top 16 maps were, of course, revealed. They were confirmed. We had our own, actually, analysis stream of that, going over all top 16 maps and also going through all the judge feedback provided, not just our judge feedback, but the other judges as well. Going through them just to see if we could gain any other insight, maybe something that I didn't notice or I didn't give much attention to that maybe someone else brought up and someone else brought attention to as well, going through all those top 16 maps. So we did have a greater breakdown of those maps previously. That was again last week, and voting has still not begun. Actually, I'm a little bit surprised. Typically, bam, WardiTV TLMC tournament does conclude, and then bam, that very week voting opens, and then you just go into it. But it looks like there is a bit of a period in between here, a bit of a cool down period before voting does open. So it's not open yet, but I'm sure will open soon. We of course will be discussing it once that does occur. From my understanding, one of the reasons for this is because a bunch of map makers have received feedback from our tournaments, from these tournaments, from our judge feedback as well. Bearing in mind that the judge feedback was all consolidated, it was all given out. Well, sorry, I guess say given out. The top 16 was announced, and the judge feedback wasn't actually given until quite some time later, until after this event concluded, actually, this tournament. So it took a while for map makers to actually receive feedback, to receive all of our feedback, and to be able to watch games played on their maps. And now they've been given time to update and make changes and otherwise improve their maps as well. We've been getting a lot of improvements from AVEX, from patches, and other map makers as well. So right now there's a period in time where I guess there's a window where map makers can update their maps before they can be voted on. Now, personally, as we get into this tournament result, I was discussing this during the stream and discussing this with other map makers. I do think that the WardiTV tournament, I might message Wax about this. I mean, I will. I do think that it's probably better for everyone involved if the Wardi tournament doesn't begin as soon as the top 16 are announced. Right? It's like we announce the top 16, bam, Wardi tournament, and then bam, all of the open cups start using the maps, and then they get feedback, they make changes, and then voting opens. It feels kind of weird for that kind of order of things, just because the big thing is that the reality is most people watch the Wardi event and not us, right? Not like Pegastar Cups or Monday Night Weeklies or Sparkling Tuna Cups. There's a lot of tournaments that make use of those maps, but the reality is that most people that are going to be voting, most people watch Wardi's tournament. Like, he's got the viewership, he's got all eyes on him whenever he does host his event, and because of that, a lot of people, when they see maps showcased in the WardiTV TLMC tournament, that's kind of the impression that is left on them, right? That those are the version of the maps that they think about when they go into voting. And on top of that, when it comes to the feedback that that map makers are receiving, a lot of that feedback comes later in the form of the judge feedback forums and also all the open cups that we're hosting as well, because we get to feature a lot more of these maps. So we were discussing the idea of maybe reordering things, where instead it probably is better if the Wardi tournament is after the finalized version of the maps are revealed, so then everyone gets to see them, right? The reality is we're about to get the finalized new updated versions of the maps, and then voting is going to open, and we're not going to be able to see games played on those maps. It's like, oh. I mean, we've been doing our best to try to showcase the updated versions, but we can't do that with everyone. And yeah, it's just it means that people come into the voting period less informed, because so many of them only watch the Wardi tournament, and that's with the outdated maps, not with the updated maps. So yeah, I mean, personally, that's how I feel, at least when it comes to restructuring and reordering how things take place. And that's at least what I'm getting at. A lot of the changes that are being made are changes based on feedback forums from the judges and from the Open Cups, less so, this tournament. So at least I feel like it'd be better if this tournament took place afterwards, not so early in the whole process. But regardless, we have our tournament. Here did feature all the top 16 maps of the TLMC, featuring At Attorney's Edge, Blackrock, Defender's Lab, Exarch, Fear and Faith, Lockdown, Lumen, Old Sun Temple, Rainfall, Rorschach, Sanctuary 3, Storm Surge, Verdant Temple, Void Storm, Washout, and Wave Breaker. Whew, a lot of maps. A lot of maps here were featured or were brought together, of course, 16 in total. Now, the most interesting thing here about the map pool, and we did discuss this previously, is that we have a bunch of 4-player spawn maps and no new 3-player spawn maps, which is interesting because for the past 2 seasons, that's kind of the next step that we took as a community, was reintroducing 3-player spawn maps, and then we're just done with them here in this TLMC. We just cast them all to the side, and then bam, we're embracing 4-player spawn maps instead. And I'm hoping that at least one of them makes it through. There's a world where maybe even 2 of them make it through into the ladder map, which would be crazy, by the way. But we'll see, we'll see. When it comes to the event itself, we had the initial group stage, which I believe we already did discuss. Yes, we already did discuss, and that leads us into the playoffs. We have the playoffs instead. And bearing in mind that when it comes to the results of these tournaments, I mean, there's always the X factor of the map itself being different, and them exploring the map, and that impacting the game itself. And a lot of these tournament results are about players being able to adapt on the fly and embrace the map in whatever way they can, and make use of that map as well. So there's a different kind of skill set that does kind of come into play here. First things first, Classic takes down Hero 3-1 to advance on to the upper semifinals. Shin takes down Cure 3-2, went all the way to the ace match. Shin does take Cure down. Percival, ooh, big win for Percival, takes down Solo 3-1. He also beat him during the GSL qualifiers, by the way, if you recall. So Percival, he's been popping off against Solo specifically. Max Paxi takes down Rogue 3-0 to create our top 4 in the upper bracket semifinals. Shin 3-0's Classic. Big win there for Shin. Upset, I would say, actually. That's crazy. So Shin 3-0's Classic. Max Pax takes down Percival 3-1. Max Pax takes down Shin 4-3. Went all the way to the ace match. Also crazy results out of Shin. And I'll be honest, I didn't really get to see these results. I would say that Shin caused an upset in every single series. He 3-2'd Cure, he 3-0'd a Classic, and he went down to Max Pax 3-4. And this, I feel like, goes into what we said earlier about a different skill set being required in a tournament like this when it comes to being able to take advantage of these maps and being able to think on the fly and kind of like assess and attribute and come up with a plan on a new environment. And I feel like that's the environment where Shin thrives the most, right? Like that's kind of like our characterization, or my view of Shin as a player, is he can be very versatile in his own play, very diverse, very flexible in his play as well, and this is where Shin can thrive. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy results out of Shin. Max X has advanced on into the grand finals in first place. Meanwhile, scoring down, we have Clem. Clem took down Cure, took down Hero, took down Percival, took down Classic, just barely in the best of 5, and even against Shin, also went all the way to the ace match, which is, again, also I would say like an upset, quote unquote. Like, not that Clem won, but that Shin made it so close, both against Max Pax and against Clem. That's crazy. Like, Shin popping up here, oh my, looking like a beast. Does go down in the end, but again, really crazy impressive results here by Shin against Classic, Cure, Max Pax, and Clem. In the end, Clem does bring him down. Then Clem versus Max X went all the way to the ace match, all the way to game number 7, and Max X does barely win out over Clem 4-3. GG well played here. Max X does bring Clem down. Very impressive run there by Max X. But I would say more importantly than the results would be the games themselves. I do recommend checking out the VODs of all these games, all these maps, to experience the maps themselves and to see how players actually use them in all these games, in all these series, and all these matches. Here we go. So do recommend it. And congratulations to Max Pax.
Fun fact.
Once again,
In fact, if you scroll down on the Wikipedia page, there are actually map statistics as well, if you want to look at that.
Yeah, there are map statistics available to them, but again, do recommend checking out the VODs if at all available. But you can also see just how often certain maps are played as well. True. Can see how often. With that, as a reminder, the voting is not yet open yet for the TLMC. Soon it will be open once we get our finalized versions of the maps, and then you can take part in that voting phase. Up next, we have the Ladder Legends Academy Valedictorian Cup number 1. That's quite a name. The LLAVCD. Oh, see, 1, I should say. But here we go. We do have an open tournament, I believe. It looks like we had a qualifier. Okay, we had a qualifier and it's an invitational. I see. So invitational and a qualifier as well. Interesting. Björn and Cheesy Machine, they made it through the qualifier, and then we had our top 6 players. I believe this is a 2-day event. Yes, it was a 2-day tournament. Double elimination round of 8, and we had Bunny. Bunny takes down Cheesy Machine. Björn takes down Percival. Max Pax takes down Cristiano. Solo takes down Cham. That leads us into the upper bracket semis. Björn took down Bunny. Max Pax took down Solo. We had Björn versus Max X, went all the way to the ace match. Max Pax does take down Björn 3-2, and likewise does take him down in the rematch in the grand finals as well. GG well played. MaxX winning out on top in the WardiTV Monday and also here in the Ladder Legends event as well. Big win here for MaxX. I mean, he was coming, I would say, as the favorite player here. Typically, the big notables that can threaten MaxX are players like Clem, players like Hero, players like Classic, Björn as well. True. Björn and Solar, they can hold their own. Solo into the ace match. Björn also into the ace match in their first series, so they were able to threaten, but MaxX still comes out on top. GG. GG all played as MaxX. He will claim the event. I'm uncertain as to how often this event is going to be occurring. It was a massive prize pool, $1,000. Whether this becomes like a monthly or a seasonal event or every now and then, hard to say. We have the first edition, and we'll try to make some correlations once the second one, if the second one is ever announced. Regardless, GG. GG well played. Congratulations to Max. That leads us into the GSL, the big event here of the season, of the year, of the month. GSL is back. GSL is back. I mean, of course, we knew that. We announced it well ahead of time, and also we were covering the GSL CK. We were the only English casters covering the GSL qualifiers, by the way. We were the only ones. Shout out to Inu for also casting it in Korean. Big shout out to Inu. But again, the round of 12 did take place. Now, again, this is a more condensed version of GSL. It is online, not offline, as of course GSL is receiving less funding. Previously, when it was a part of the EPT and when it was a part of the EWC circuit, they would receive funds to actually have a greater prize pool and be able to run the event at an offline venue, of course. But now without that kind of support structure, GSL are doing it on their own, and they're relying on the Patreon. So if you want to help support GSL and support Korean StarCraft, then patreon.com/GSL is the place to do it, as they do have stretch goals to boost the prize pool, to host more events, and to make Season 3 of reality this year. Right now, only Season 1 and Season 2 are confirmed. Season 3 is still up in the air. Still yet to be funded, I should say. Meanwhile, we had the round 12. We had the round 12 here. We had Rogue, Zaun, Solar, and Percival in Group A. Coming into this group, I'll be honest, I was leaning more towards the two Zerg players here, Rogue and Solar, but I knew that Zaun and Percival could definitely threaten them. I just mentioned that, hey, we just saw Percival take down Solar in the Wardy tournament. Percival also beat Solar in the qualifier as well, but here, Solar, he does get his revenge. He does take down Percival. These are really short games, by the way. Non-stop all-ins, hyper-aggression, non-stop all-ins, very little mid to late game play in Group A, and again, the night actually ended quite quickly. It was like a 3-hour broadcast or something. It was crazy. It was so really short, really fast games, really short games. In the end, it was not Solar though. It was Zaun. Zaun, he takes down Solar 2-0 and takes down Solar 2-0 again. Like Zaun, he just had Solar's number here, knocking him out, knocking him down. Solar is out of GSL, and Zaun and Rogue are in. GG will play. They do advance on into the round of 8. Heading over to Group B. Group B was Björn, Cure, Trigger, and Bunny. The two favorite players here were Björn and Cure, but Bunny, he came out the gate swinging. It was crazy. Trigger, I would say. Trigger, he takes down Cure 2-0 at the beginning of the broadcast. Like, that was very shocking. That was crazy. Cure was favored coming into this to come out in first place, but to be knocked down in the beginning here was insane. So mad props there. Mad props to Trigger. Björn takes down Bunny 2-0. Björn, he 2-0s Trigger, again in a very aggressive series. These were all just like Group A. Group B was also hyper aggression. Really short games, really short matches. Also a really short broadcast. But Björn takes down Trigger 2-0 to qualify for the round of 8. Then Kira takes down Bunny 2-1, also short series. I think there was one macro game, I remember. One TVT macro game. And then Kira takes down Trigger 2-1, went all the way to the ace match. It was so close, so clutch. Another Trigger, he has some words afterwards on social medias about it, talking about how, like, he felt a little bit disappointed. He felt like he knew that he could make it through, but at the same time, like, this is maybe, like, the best result of his career in terms of GSL, of course, so, like, he still had a good performance, but knew that he could have maybe have done better, and he hopes to do better next season. Of course, there is a Season 2 confirmed. Congratulations, as Björn and Cure, they advance on into the round of 8 as well. That leads us into the round of 8, which was this week. We casted it live. Again, we've been casting all of this live on our personal channel over on Soup, not on Twitch and YouTube. That is where the rebroadcasts have been. When it comes to Group A, we had Cure, Maru, Classic, and Rogue. And I'll be honest, coming into this, I was expecting Classic to make it through. Classic alongside one of the Terran players. But no, Classic, he was cheesed the hell out. Curie cheesed them the hell out in the first series, and then we had Classic's attempted redemption, of course. He takes down the Rogue when he goes up against Maru in that winner's match. Cure, he did come out in first place. He took down Maru 2-1. Cure was favored in that series. If you remember, when during the cast, we were trying to emphasize the fact that Cure did defeat Maru at EWC last year, and does so here at GSL as well. So Cure does advance on in first place, and Maru, he comes out in second place. It was a very close and very clutch all-in. That was the ace match between Maru and Classic on that final game on Ruby Rock, and Maru barely broke Classic. Barely did break him. And congratulations, Cure and Maru, they do make it through. GG. GG will play. They make it through into the round of 4. Heading over to Group B, we had Shin, Hero, Byun, and Zaun. And coming into this group, I'll be honest, I thought that Hero was a sure thing. I was like, yo, Hero's going to be a sure thing coming into this, and maybe Byun alongside him. Like, it was, the second slot was kind of up in the air for me. But we spoke about Shin's recent results, of course, in the WardiTV events, and that's reflected here as well. Shin, he pops off, he takes down Zaun 2-1 in their initial series, and takes down Byun 2-1 as well, in a very chaotic series, I might add. Like, Shin, who was going for non-stop proxy hatcheries, weird builds, all-ins, 2-ace muta, early roaches. Like, Shin was very aggressive, very, very aggressive, and very unorthodox, and both Zaun and Byun had a bit of a harder time keeping up with the tempo that Shin was setting. And Shin was able to come in first place. Meanwhile, Hero, he did struggle here. He had a messy couple of matches. He went down to Byun initially, took down Zaun, barely went all the way to the ace match, and then barely took down Byun as well. And if you notice, but every single series in this group went to the ace match. All of them went to game 3. They were all so close, so clutch. This group could have gone either way. Barely goes the way of Hero and Shin, and it was heartbreaking to see Byun get knocked out here. You know, Byun is a fan favorite, but he does not make it into the top 4. Instead, it is Shin and Hero. GG. GG well played. With that, we have our playoff bracket, so that is going to be in a couple of weeks. That's going to be in over a week's time. We have Cure versus Hero, and we have Shin versus Maru. Oh boy, 2 Terran matchups. We have 1 Protoss, 1 Zergo on each side of said bracket as well. Bearing in mind, this will be the offline events. It's going to be offline at the GSL studio. We have the semis, and then the grand finals thereafter. Oh boy. When it comes to our predictions coming into this, I mean, so Hero, he had a winners interview, actually. He had a winners interview. And he himself said that, like, if he plays like he is right now, then he's gonna have no chance. But if he tightens his play up, then he's feeling confident. But right now, like, he's not satisfied with his play. I would agree with that as well. Like, on paper, I want to say that I can see Hero winning the entire tournament. I want to favor him against Kira, and I want to favor him against Maru and Shin. But at the same time, again, Hero did look a little bit rusty, or a little bit shaky, a little bit yeah, he wasn't looking entirely tip-top shape that we expect from him from even 2 months ago, where he was winning everything, even 1 month ago. So yeah, Hero, he's looking a little bit shaky here, and because of that, I don't know if I have faith. Like, is this Cure season? Like, hey, Cure beat Maru in EWC, beat Maru in GSL earlier. If we see a rematch between Cure and Maru, I favor Cure. But it's only if it's Cure and Maru. Shin, he's also been very chaotic and very aggressive, and he's had his own like crazy results against Maru even as well. It's a really hard one to call. Like, it's a really hard one to call. I think I might be on the Cure hype train. I think I might be. I think Cure might be favored in my mind over everyone here in their current forms, of course. Again, they've got a week to prepare. And I can see Hero popping off. I can see Hero excelling, depending on how that week goes, of course, right? They've got 7 days. They've got 7 days to get their practice in, to prepare for their matches, and to prepare for their games. I look forward to it. I look forward to that preparation and to what they bring to the table over next week. It's going to be crazy. Going to be crazy. Best of luck. Best of luck, of course, everyone involved, to our top 4. Also, something that I kind of glazed over, or glossed over, was the fact that Classic, he was actually vlogging. That he did release the video. He did create a vlog of him going to the GSL studio, meeting up with everyone, and a bit of a behind-the-scenes video. It was really cool just because, as he was doing that, GSL were also recording their behind-the-scenes video as well. So, so they kind of saw each other in that process. And it was really cool to see them all hanging out behind the scenes, having fun, talking with each other. If you remember Zaun, when it came to his round of 12 performance, like, he gave a shout to Classic, and you could see, like, in the behind the scenes videos, like, Zaun and Classic were very close, which was really cool. What was really surprising to me was that Creator showed up. He showed up to the photo shoot. not to take part, but just to be there with his friends. Because then Creator is very close to Beyond, he's really close to Maru, he's really close to a bunch of these guys. And Creator, if you remember, I bring this up because Creator, he did not take part in the qualifiers. Straight up, it's not that he didn't qualify, he didn't even sign up. Didn't sign up, didn't check in, didn't play. And we took that, or at least I took that, as a sign that Creator was going to be silently retiring for not taking part. And in that behind the scenes video, he himself said that like he's working another job at the moment. I think he called himself like a work ant. He's but it looks like Creator is kind of like stepping back and stepping away and stepping into his new career. I say that Creator, I think he streamed yesterday or something. Like he's still streaming on Twitch every now and then. He's still playing StarCraft in some which way, and he might even play in some tournaments. But it does look like he is stepping back, stepping away, and working towards that next stage of his life. So we wish Creator the best, and it was great to see him in the behind the scenes videos for sure. It was great to see him. Great to see some Creator, and I wish him the best. Much love, much love. That leads us into the next big event, of course.
What is my favorite part of that behind the scenes video from GSL? Was how they start the video with Hero, and they're like, yeah, so do you think today's photo shoot will go well? And he's like, I've been doing this for 10 years. It better go well.
True. True. No. No. Feels bad, man. But yeah. So best. Wishing the best. And again, I do recommend checking out the behind the scenes videos, whether it's classics vlog or whether it's a GSL video. Do recommend it. And of course, they do have the behind the scenes video and a bunch of photo shoots and a bunch of interviews, all available on their Patreon. It is available on their Patreon, so do consider supporting. Speaking of big events, we did have the RSL Season 5 qualifiers. We already did cover the Americas and the Korean qualifier, which we did cast ourselves. We also had the European qualifier as well. Oh, okay. This we didn't cast. I was busy sleeping. But Shin takes down Perceive 2-0, takes down Nickrak 2-0, and takes down Lambo in the qualifying match 3-2 to qualify for RSL. Meanwhile, we then had GG. Oh, it's the Machine, but look at him go. The Machine, he takes down Art 2-1, takes down Bunny 2-1, and takes down Percival 3-0. Very impressive play here by GG Machine, as we have our two Zurich players making it through into the main event. Congratulations, shout out to Shin and GG Machine. Leads us into the RSL, into RSL proper, RSL Season 5, which did actually begin last week. And we are halfway through the group stage. Bearing in mind that tomorrow the group stage will continue. So coming into this, we have our top 16 players. Let's go into that first. We have 6 Protoss, 5 Terran, and 5 Zerg. We have Hero, Trigger, Zell, Nightmare, Shameless, and Classic. We have our 6 Protoss players. We have a 5 Terran with Beyond, Cure, Maru, Bunny, and Clem. Then we have Rogue, Solar, GG Machine, Shin, and Lambo. I kind of glossed over it, but when it comes to the fan vote, Bunny, Clem, and Lambo were voted in by the patrons. If you're a supporter on Patreon, you have the power to vote for maps and the power to vote for which player to be invited in. So Lambo, Bunny, and Clem were all voted in by the fans, by the patrons. So shout out to them for making it through. Again, shout out to all the qualified players as well. Something that we should also bring up is that MaxPax is now ineligible for the RSL. And not the first time that he has been deemed ineligible for a bunch of tournaments. I do recall him being ineligible for a bunch of the SC Boy events as well, just because they were leading into an offline event. And of course, MaxPax does not attend offline events. So basically, because MaxPax was the Season 4 champion, the previous season this year, they're in a weird position where it's like, oh, he won RSL, which means he gets seeded into the offline finals, but he's not going because he doesn't go to offline events. So it's like, oh. So now they've enforced the restriction. They've enforced the rule that, hey, if you're going to be competing in our tournaments, then you have to be willing to travel to go to the offline finals, right? Like that is a prerequisite. And of course, MaxPax won't be doing that. So MaxPax, he is going to be ineligible to compete in RSL, at least until the time comes where he's willing to compete in an offline environment, which I don't think is going to happen. Like at this point in his career, it's been what, like 6 years? Like this is not going to happen 6 years in, no shot. So, but that's going to be the stipulation, of course, moving forward. With that, we have a group stage. We have Group A. We have Classic, Rogue, Maru, and GG Machine. And this is more what I expected out of the group stage from GSL, if you remember. I was saying that like Maru, Cure, and Classic were in the same group, and I was expecting Classic to make it through. This is what I expected. So, Classic, he takes down GG Machine 2-0. He takes down Maru 2-0, and Classic does advance on in first place. We then had Rogue, he did fall to Maru initially, but he was able to win in the rematch, taking down G Machine and taking down Maru as well. So we have Classic and Rogue advancing on out of Group A. Maru is knocked out of RSL. So I guess it's interesting to see different players kind of like excel or kind of do better or do worse, like depending on the tournament, where Classic got knocked out of the group stage in GSL and Maru advanced onto the playoffs. Here, Classic advances onto the playoff and Maru, he gets knocked out of the group stage. More than anything, I feel like it just shows how close in skill these players are, especially with Maru. Like I think in the past, like Maru alongside some of the others were like a tier above, but right now I would say that a bunch of these players are very close in skill, like Rogue, Maru, Classic, Cure, Beyond, Hero, Solar, Shin, like all these guys, like they can knock each other out. The gap is closer between them, and here Maru doesn't make it through the group stage. Heading over to Group B, we have Hero, Solar, Trigger, and Nightmare. Ooh, a Protoss heavy group. Very Protoss heavy. Thinking about Solar and his thoughts about ZVP matchups. But similarly here, Solar, he got knocked out of the early rounds of GSL, but here in RSL, he's able to excel. And also Hero looking much stronger here in this group. much stronger than he did in GSL. So here he takes down Trigger 2-1. I mean, it's a PvP heavy group. Takes down Trigger 2-1, takes down Solar 2-0 as well to advance on in first place. Solar took down Nightmare, and he took down Trigger as well. So we have Hero and Solar advancing on in Group B. Heading on over to our next groups, we have Group C, which is Shin, Bunny, Shameless, and Bian. And we have Group D, Cure, Zan, Lambo, and Clem. Oh my god, that's a stacked Group D. Jesus. Coming into Group C, I'll say that, I mean, I want Seamus to do well. You know, Seamus, he is a grinder. He's been grinding on grinding in so many tournaments and playing so much. And hey, made it through the qualifiers. I want him to excel. But coming into this, Björn and Shin, I would say, are the favorite players. Bunny can always upset. Bunny's a little bit more inconsistent in his play. And Seamus, he has a lot more to prove. Like, he's like, you know, the player that's putting in the work, of course, and has been grinding as much as he can, but still has a ways to go to kind of keep up with these other players. I'm waiting for the moment where he does break out into the upper echelons of the upper tier of players in StarCraft. He's close. Like Seamus, he is very close. Like I think of players like Shameless, I think of GG Machine, I think of Percival, right? Like I think of these are the players that I think of when it comes to players that are like on the cusp of breaking out into like the top, you know, 20 in the world. They're getting there. So from here we have Shin, Bunny, Shameless, and Björn. Again, in my mind, Shin and Björn are the favorite players on paper, but I hope to see Bunny and Shameless do well. When it comes to Group D, with Cure, Zan, Lambo, and Clem is the heavy favorite. I'll take Clem and Cure, the two Terrans, they're favorite. I mean, Cure Hayes in the top 4 of GSL. You know, Clem, he's the best Terran player in Europe and arguably the best Terran player in the world. Straight up, true, yeah, the best Terran player in the world. So they're both gonna be favorite here. Zambo, oh, that's Zambo back. Zan and Lambo, they can threaten the Terran players in their group 100%, but they got to bring their A game, right? Preparation is key, and they got a couple of days to prepare for their upcoming matches. So I wish them the best. It's not going to be easy. Wish them the best coming into Group D. Do wish them the best. When it comes to our coverage of RSL, we don't cover the group stage, but we will be covering the playoffs. The playoffs is something that we'll be covering over on the channel. We will be co-streaming, as always. Heading on over, we do have our next big event, the final big event here to cover, that is the WardiTV Spring Cup 2026. This is a seasonal event here that Wardi has been hosting, has been organizing. We have our participants. We have 6 Protoss, 5 Terran, and 5 Zerg. We have Christiana. We have Nice. We have Shameless, Showtime, Trigger, and Zaun. Interesting lineup here. Huh. Okay. I see what you're doing. Yes, there, Wardy. So we have Cristiano, Nice, Shameless, Showtime, Trigger, and Zaun. For Terran, we have Björn, Cure. We have Björn, Cure, Nickrat, Percival, and Ryung. Oh, the Dong one is in, baby. Let's go. And for Zerg, we have Lambo, Rogue, Shin, Solar, and Young Yakov. Wow, interesting. So I'm looking at the invited players, and you know what I see? I see a lack of top Protosses. Like, no disrespect, like Zaun, Trigger, Showtime, Sheamus, Nice, Cristiano, they're solid players. But we're missing, there's no Max Packs, there's no Classic, there's no Hero, right? Those are the three best Protoss players in the world that are not a part of this event, which is interesting to see. So I was like, oh, like maybe we're looking to like diversify the list, because especially when it comes to a lot of these tournaments, it's like, okay, I'm ready to watch another Hero versus Clem, right? Like, I'm ready. And Clem wasn't invited either, so they didn't invite Clem, they didn't invite Hero, no Classic, no Max Pack, so we get to indulge in some of these other players. But who was invited was Bjorn and Cure, who are up there as well. Like, like again, Cure is top 4 in GSL, like, so we still have some heavy Terran, and we still have some heavy Zerg representation. Shin is also top 4 in GSL. We have Rogue and Solar as well. So it feels, looking at the participants, looking at the notables here, at the participants, at the invites, it does look heavily weighted towards Terran and Zerg, more so than Protoss. I'll be honest. Again and again, Showtime, Trigger, and Zaun especially, like they can definitely take it to them. But yeah, it feels like, in my opinion, it feels like Wardy wants to cast a little bit more Terran and Zerg this time, more so than Protoss. Like that's what it feels like. And speaking of, we have the group themselves.
I will add that something that might or might not have influenced the list of players is the fact that this tournament was actually supposed to have qualifiers, but they were cancelled due to scheduling conflict. So instead it's fully invite.
Yeah, well, which kind of further kind of puts weight on what I said, because he has full control over who he wants to invite. Then that's what that means. Like, so this is like fully under his control as to who's going to be a part of this, essentially, with who he sends invites to. So yeah, interesting kind of set of players here. And here in Group A, we have Bjorn, Percival, Shameless, and Yang Yako. We have our 2 Terran players advancing on out of Group A. Again, they were the 2 favorite players coming into this. Bjorn and Percival are looking very strong as of late. Coming to Group B, Solar, Shin, Nick, and Nice. Yep, we have our 2 Zerg players advancing on, with Solar and Shin being the favorite players in Group B. We then have Group C and D thereafter. We have Showtime, Zaun, Lambo, and Ryung. Ooh, this is going to be a much more competitive group, to be honest. Same with Group D as well. In Group A and B, like, there was definitely a lot more of a distinction of Beyond, Percival, Solar, and Shin to make it through. Group C and D is going to be a little bit closer here. Now, what I will say is that I haven't seen Showtime play. He's not a very active player right now. He's not a very active player. He doesn't play in many open tournaments, so it's hard to judge his current level of play. We did see Lambo do well in the qualifiers for RSL. So looking at this group here, I'm leaning towards Zaun and Lambo maybe, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see like Zaun and Showtime. Like, we could see double Protoss making it out of Group C. I want to give credit to Lambo just because of his recent performance in the qualifier. Ryung has been casting a lot. I love Ryung. He's great. He's beautiful. He's CranKy Duckling adjacent. I look forward to his cast of this tournament when he gets knocked out. That's the Ryung. Hi. You know what? Unironically, if this group was Ryung, like Maru, Cure, and Bjorn, I'd be like, yo, Ryung, he's gonna make it through. he's making it through in first place. Like, remember, Ryung, he has some of the best TBT, if not the best TBT in the world, and Wardy puts him in a group with no Terran. what the hell? Like, what's going on, papi? Ay. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. So no Terrans for Ryung. So with that, wishing the best. We wish him the best. For Group D, we have Cure, Trigger, Rogue, and Cristiano. Ooh, likewise, a spicy group here. I would usually be like, okay, Cure and Rogue are favored, right? Cure and Rogue, they're favored to make it out. But remember, Trigger did 2-0 Cure in GSL, right? Like, he did defeat him in GSL, did lose in the rematch. True, did end up losing in the rematch. But Trigger, he has shown that he can take it to Cure, and he has shown that he can be at that level of play. So I want to believe in Trigger here in Group D. I want to believe. It's like my head says Cure and Rogue, my heart says Trigger. So best of luck. Best of luck to all the players involved here. So, same with Cristiano. Cristiano's also been, like, when I think of Cristiano, I think of Shameless, I think of GG Machine, I think of Yang Yako, like these players that play so much. They play in almost everything. And they've been improving. That all that hard work, it pays off, and they have been improving. They have been getting better results. And I wish them the best in this group. It's not going to be easy, but we wish them the best. Wish them the best. And again, the remainder of the group is going to be taking place over the next couple of days, over the weekend. Up next, we do have our modded tournaments. Up next, we do have some StarCraft Evolution. Este Bratok has been hosting a lot of SCEV related tournaments, and we have another one here as well. Looks like we do have a bit of a race war. Let's not the first one, by the way. I don't know if you remember this, Kura, but Ollie did host a couple of Lima League race wars back in the day. I can't even remember if they were Lima League branded, but they were called race wars, which was amazing. But Ollie did host them back then. And it looks like we have Team Protoss, Team Terran, and Team Zerg as well. Interesting lineups. For Team Zerg, we have Iosop and Yang Yakov. For Team Protoss, we have Midway and Shameless. For Team Terran, we have Zardiant and Jedos. The hell is Jedos? Like I'm not a player that I'm not very familiar with here. So it's an interesting Terran player here to be thrown into the ring. Wishing the best. Wishing the best. We have Terran versus Protoss. Okay, so Zardian took down Shameless in the initial game on Maganatha. What is this map pool? What? And on Maganatha. Jedos takes down Minovike on Pylon. Jedos takes down Shameless on Mothership. Yo, Jedos is popping. What the hell? What's going on? Okay. Jedos is playing Brood War Terran, by the way. Okay. No, sorry, he's playing SC2 Terran. My apologies. He's playing SC2 Terran. That is what he is labeled as. But he does well for himself. And then Midway takes down Zardians at the very end here. But Terran, they take down Protoss. Take him down. Impressive wins here. Impressive results. Weird map pool. So I will say. Very weird map pool. Round 2, we did have... oh, it's 3 rounds for TVP? Okay.
It's 3 rounds for each matchup, yeah. They did TVP first.
Okay. So Terran, they win the first round. They win the first round. And then we had a bunch of TV2s. We had Zardiant and Jedos fighting against Midway and Shameless. And once again, Terran, they come out on top. Shameless and Midway, they do win the game over Scallion. And then 3 games back to back with Rust Buckets, New Bed of Chaos, and Undercurrent, all in favor of Zardiant and Jedos. That's crazy. Like, again, I rate Shameless very highly here. And for Shameless to lose against Zardiant and to lose against Jedos as well... Shameless, did he play Brood War? No, he played SC2 as well. Crazy there for Shameless to fall here in these matches. And then we had round 3, and it was a clean sweep. Terran, they win in round 1, they win in round 2, they win in round 3 as well. Here we had a best of 7 here. Midway takes down Jedos, Zardiant takes down Mindle, Shameless takes down Zardiant. We had a bit of a back and forth here. It went all the way to the ace match. This time Shameless does win his matches for the most part, but he falls against Zardiant on Vermeer. He falls against Zardiant on Celestial Enclave, and Midway also falls against Zardiant on Maganatha. Oh, Zardiant carrying. He actually won every game. Every game that they won in round 3 was Zardiant, by the way. God damn it. But Jedos did pull his weight in round 1. Like, I will say that. Like, he did pull his weight there. So congratulations. Unanimous here. Terran greater than Protoss. They win in round 1, 2, and 3. Crazy.
Hear that, but that's why they're clearly Terran better than Protoss.
True. PVT unwinnable, Papillon. Where's Stardock? Where is he? But it's the results are in. Confirmed. The ZVT race war is going to be taking place later on tonight in 5 hours time. In 5 hours time is going to be the ZVT race war, and then we have PVT that'll be in a couple of days time for that final race war as well between Protoss and Zerg. So best of luck. Again, all these games are going to be casted and showcased by Bratok over in his native language. So you can check them out there over on his stream, over on his VODs. Otherwise, that leads us here into the 5.4K patch clash number 17. An event that we actually covered ourselves. Patches, he has his own unique balance patch mod, which is less balance and more craziness. Like, it's it's just crazy. It's just there's a lot going on. We have the return of Infested Terran. We have upgrades that allow for roaches to be one supply. We have an upgrade which allows the depths to shoot up. We have an upgrade that allows charge lots to get shields whenever they charge. Like, we have like there's so many changes made and so many upgrades added as well, and it's crazy. It's a crazy balance patch, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to delve into, a lot of fun to really embrace, and yeah, it was definitely an experience to behold. Coming into the event, Def Mars. Def Mars took down Faye 2-0, took down Ryojin 2-0, took down Zadiant 2-1, and then won in the rematch as well. We just saw Zadiant, he was popping up for the Race Wars earlier, but here he does fall to Def Mars. Def Mars is a main Protoss player, by the way, but did off-race as Zerg, as this does have a 5.4k MMR limitation. The finals went all the way to the ace match, and Def Mars brings down Zadiant 3-2. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations, Def Mars. He will claim the win. He will be our champion for this week's patches, for this month's or week's patches patch clash. GG. GG, well played. I know the patches has been updating the mod, and if you want to check out the mod yourself, do check out the, I believe there's a link on the Wikipedia page to the Google Doc, which does have everything listed. It's pretty intense. It's pretty overwhelming. There's a lot going on there, and yeah, it's nonsense. It's great. It's beautiful. Beautiful. It's pure chaos. So do check it out. It's a lot of fun. That leads us into the amateur events. The amateur events here for the week. Speaking of amateur events, we have the Amateur League Weekly. Amateur League Weekly number 157. Bearing in mind we have 2 weeks to catch up on. Up first, we have the Initiate Weekly. This is for bronze to platinum players. So open to all bronze and platinum players out there. We had 4 players, double elimination brackets. We had Dollar Tree Dipper takes down Azan 2-1, takes down Saito 2-1, and takes down Azan in the rematch 3-2. Went all the way to the ace match, by the way. Very impressive. Went all the way to game 5. In the end, Dollar Tree Dipper will claim the win, not his first win in the Initiate Weekly. GG, well played. That leads us into the Veteran Weekly. This is for Diamond 3 and Diamond 2 players. Here we had a greater sign-up list. We had Smite Steel, we have Barimko, we have Cyril, we have Lauren, we have Sugar Colt II, Glacius, Old Lady, Choi Galaxy, and Mr. Fister. Again, a lot of regulars here in this event. Smite Steel does come out on top, though. He does go on a tear. He takes down Barimko 2-1, takes down Cyril 2-0, takes down Sugar Colt II 2-0, and we have a rematch against Cyril in the grand finals, but did go all the way to the ace match once again. Went all the way to game 5. Smite Steel does take down Cyril 3-2. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to Smite Steel, the Ukrainian Protoss player. That leads us into the Prestige Weekly. This is for Diamond 1 to Masters 2. Here we did have, once again, a solid lineup of players. We had Herald, we had Boreal, we had Milka, we had Ilya, we had Steez, Zigger, Set, and Beast, and many, many others. A lot of regulars here. Coming into these events, we usually do kind of rate players like Beast to go far. We're thinking of Beast, thinking of Steez, thinking of Milka, thinking of Zigger. In this event, Herald, oh my god, he popped off. He went crazy. He took down Boreal 2-0, took down Beast 2-0, took down Zigger 2-1, and then finally took down Steez 3-1 in the grand finals. Very impressive result here from Hirilt. We'll figure out how to pronounce his name eventually. We'll figure it out. But congratulations, takes down Steez 3-1. Is going to be this week's Prestige champion. Leads us into the Elite edition of the event. Here we don't really have many signups. The reason for this, all these tournaments that we've been listing, they play for points, they don't play for money. There's no prize money, so very often GMs and pro players do avoid the GM edition of this tournament. Here we had a walkover win in favor of the SHP. GG, well played. That leads us into the Amateur League Weekly number 158. This is this week's Amateur League Weekly. Coming into this event, once again, we have the Initiate Edition, Bronze to Platinum. Ooh, only 2 signups here. And there is solid Dollar Tree Dipper once again, but there was a walkover win. Oh, walkover win. May have won in the 157th edition, but in 158 did not show. And we just get a straight walkover win for Tebs. Congratulations. Congratulations for signing up, checking in. Did more than most. True? True. God damn it. Up next, we have the Veteran Edition, Diamond 3 to Diamond 2. Here we did have more participation. Once again, we have our regulars. I see Smite Steel, I see Mr. Fister, I see Lauren, Pretty Fly, Old Lady, Balimko. We have some others that I'm less familiar with, like Clefutis, and Revio, and Pickwells as well. Coming into this event, we had, speaking of Clefutis, actually takes down Revio 2-0, takes down Mr. Fister 2-0, takes down Balimko 2-0 as well, but actually falls in the rematch. May have taken down Balimko 2-0 initially, but in the rematch, Balimko comes back from the lower bracket, takes down Clefutis 3-0, and Balimko is going to be this week's Veteran Champion. GG. GG, well played. Shout out to Balimko. Up next, we have the Prestige Edition, Diamond 1 to Masters 2. Once again, 2 weeks in a row, actually. Esther Harilot. He takes down Defiance 2-0, takes down Milk 2-0, takes down Steez 2-0, and takes down Steez in the rematch 2 weeks in a row. S, the hero. You're lit. Crazy. Crazy, man. GG, well played. Congratulations, let's claim the win. Meanwhile, we have the Elite Edition. We have the same champion here, Theus HP. He signs up, he checks in, walkover win. Congrats.
But this time he signed up as Protoss. Last time he signed up as random.
Ooh, true. He flexes a little bit here with what he signs up as. There you go. Crazy. Wins as Protoss, wins as random. But again, if you want to take part in some of these events, if you happen to be between the leagues of Bronze and GM. It's just if you happen to play StarCraft and you want to take part, and if you maybe don't want to play in an open tournament full of pro players and GMs, if you want to play in something that is a little bit more restricted and full of players around your skill level, then consider playing in the Amateur League weeklies. As we mentioned, there's no prize money on the line for the weeklies. They do provide points, but the points at the end of the season, they do accumulate. Then we get some invites, and you get invited as a top player to the end of season finals, which does have prize money, which does have a prize pool. So you can check it out there. Otherwise, congratulations to our top players here for the past 2 weeks in the Amateur League weeklies. Up next, we do have the Yamato Cup number 5. Again, this has become a more regular event as of late. This is a tournament for 5k players and below, so around low GM, high masters, and below. We do have some of our regulars from the previous events. We have Beast, we have Nurin, we have Roman Demold, we have Eno, we have Hidich, we have Set, we have Abathur, Maro as well. A lot of regulars when it comes to the amateur scene, and here we had Beast becoming a beast. He takes down Set 2-0, takes down Maro 2-1, takes down Ino 2-1, and takes down Nurim 3-0 in the grand finals. GG well played. Beast, he may have fallen when it comes to the Amateur League weekly tournaments, but here in the Yamato Cup, he does come out on top. Congratulations, does claim the win. Does take down Nurim 3-0. GG well played. And a shout out to Killer Bcast for hosting the event, on a monthly basis. Up next, we had the Uwu Thermal Circuit Bonus Cup number 8. Again, the Thermal Circuit is coming to a close. It's coming to a close here. We don't really have many more. We have one more month to go. One more tournament even. We have the last chance open tournaments next week, I believe, and then we're going to be closing the overall circuit. We're going to be locking in the standings and inviting everyone into the playoffs. So the playoffs are just around the corner. First, we have the Bonus Cup number 8. Here it is single elimination tournaments. Here we have our typical duos, Classic and Hero Marine. They have been the rising stars as of late in 2v2. We got the Team Liquid duo with Alazer and Skillus. We have an interesting duo for the first time, Lambo and Special. They do sign up together. We got Showtime and Spirits at playing together. We have Cure and Rogue. We have Pi and Rotterdam. Lovely. Wishing the best. We have Seamus and Young Yakov, Goblin and Uwu Thermal, Death Mars and Audience, and many other regulars. When coming into this event here, how did we perform? So Zardian and Def Mars, they popped off. They took down Fiant and Lelix, took down a Laser and Skills 2-0, took down Uwu Thermal and Goblin 2-0, and they had made it all the way to the grand finals. On the flip side, it was Cure and Rogue, the X-Gen Air boys. If you remember, they actually competed as an X-Gen Air team in the WardiTV Team League, playing in 2v2s there as well, and here they also come together as a 2v2 partner and duo. I've noticed them in voice calls in the GSL Discord as well. They've also been hanging out. But yeah, it's great to see the X-Gen Air players hanging out and taking part and competing and excelling. They take down Enicorn and Zora 2-0. They take down the Classic and Hero Marine 2-0. They take down Seamus and Young Yakov, and then they go up against Def Mars and Zardian. They go all the way to the ace match. Crazy run here for Def Mars and Zardian to make it all the way to the grand finals, especially because when you look at the top players here, you look at Showtime, you look at Spirit, you look at Cure, Rogue, Classic, Gabe, Lambo. There are all these players that in 1v1s are favored, but in 2v2, Def Mars and Zardians, some otherwise lower tiered players on paper, they excel. They went all the way to the ace match here against Cure and Rogue. GG well played. Very strong performance here by Def Mars and Zardians, and congratulations to Cure and Rogue for claiming the win. GG well played. That leads us into the 2-2 circuit for May. The May edition here for the Euthermal 2-2 circuit. For the main monthly tournaments, double elimination. Double elimination instead. And we have a returning duo, Cure and Rogue. They also excel here. They take down Beyond and Solar 2-1. They once again take down Classic and Hero Marine 2-0 in the upper semifinals, but they fall to Max, Specs, and Spirit. For those who are maybe unfamiliar with 2v2, the best 2v2 team in the world is Max, Specs, and Spirit. Straight up. They are the best 2v2 team in the world. They've gotten the most accolades, and hey, they win another tournament. They take down Death Mars and Zardians, the previous champions. They take, the previous finalists. They take them down 2-0. They take down Bunny and Hero 2-0. They take down Cure and Rogue, the previous champions, 2-0. And even in the grand finals, they win 2-0. Max, Pax, and Spirit they didn't drop a single map. That's crazy. They did not drop a single map here. They just breezed their way through. They claim the win. GG, well played. Max, Pax, and Spirits, they are this month's champion, and it's rare to see them not win whenever they sign up together. I will say that Spirit in recent months has been less active, and we even saw him last tournament. He played with Showtime, not with Max, but here they join forces, they come together, and when they do, they are nigh unsolvable. GG. GG, well played. With that, congratulations to Max, and Spirit. So that leads us into our next big event. That leads us into the StarCraft 2 Community Team League 2026 Spring Edition. The regular season is continuing. Does continue here. We have round 4 and round 5. Guess we had 2 rounds or just 1?
2 rounds.
2. Okay.
It's 2 rounds.
Yeah.
It's 4 and 5. Yes.
We had two rounds taking place here. Again, this is a big Chinese team league. There's always a Chinese team league going on. When one ends, another rises to take its place. It's always happening. Before this, it was the Elpis team league. There was like the Rookie Warpgate team league as well. There's always a team league going on. Here we had Total Project. That takes down Lear 5-1. We then had Hiss takes down Astartes 6-0. We had PCEC taking down Super Puppy 5-1. Not to be confused with Super Kitty. We had Kauda taking down Fairy Thug 4-2. We had Elpis taking down Super Kitty 4-2. That's a big win, actually, focusing a little bit on the match itself. What did we have here? We had Anami. We had Anami Chiaki up against... Hold on here. Up against... Translate. Oh, I don't know this person. Xiaojin Zhe. Interesting. I don't know who this is. But they tie 1-1. That's a big win. And Nami Chiaki is a big player in the Chinese region, so to drop a map is not to be taken lightly here. So big win there for our Protoss player. We then had SCV and Silky tied 1-1. That's a big win there for SCV. And then Lemon takes down his opponent 2-0 to claim the win for Elpis. Then had Elpis 3. They take down Protoss the Best 4-2. Then we had Team Old Man with a 6-0 win over Little Fairy. That's a huge win. Remember, Team Old Man, they're one of the favorite teams in the entire league. They're full of old men. Smurge with Coffee, Cyan, and Kingslayer, who's like 21 or something. Feels Kingslayer, man.
Old, by esports standards, he's old.
True. Old man. He's older than Eba. That means he's old. True. As a clean 6-0 here, we had UED Soldier falling, we had Ear falling, and we had Psycho falling as well. So congratulations to Old Man. They do claim the win over one of the other favorite teams in the league in a very strong showing. Then we have Starlight Twinkle versus Rookie Warpgate. 4-2 in favor of Starlight Twinkle. I will say here, surprising that it wasn't a 6-0. Like Young Zest, he drops a map. That's huge. Young Zest drops a map. Triple H drops a map as well. Again, these are typically favored players here, but no, they do bleed against Rookie Warpgate. That leads us into round 5. Leads us into round 5. We have Super Kitty. They take down Fairy Thug 6-0. We had Team Little Fairy take down Rookie Warpgate 4-2. Strong showing there from Little Fairy. We had Team Old Man with their 6-0 against Leor. Again, to be expected. We had Elpis taking down Total Project 6-0 as well. Okay. SCV took down Moko 2-0, big win, and Lemon took down Ghost Runner as well. We then had Side Twinkle. They take down Elpis 3 5-1. Once again, Young Zest be dropping maps that he shouldn't be. He dropped a map against Rookie Warpgate. He drops a map here against Elpis 3 as well. Interesting. So shout out to Elpis 3 for taking that map off of Young Zest. Likewise, we have PCC. They take down Kauda 6-0. We had Hiss taking down Super Puppy 4-2. And then we had Astartes with a close and clutch series against Protoss the Best, winning 4-3. Went all the way to the ace match. GG. GG will played. With that, round 6 is actually taking place in a couple of hours. In 2 hours' time, we have round 6. Looking at the... Do we have lineups? No, we don't have lineups here. But looking at the matchups themselves, I'm looking forward to Old Man versus Elpis. That is going to be a high-profile match. And Starlight Twinkle versus Little Fairy. Ooh, okay. So we have 2 very high-profile matches. Wishing the best. And I guess we have Super Kitty versus PCEC as well, which can also be notable. We do wishing the best.
I just want to point out, I just realized that the way these teams are named, we have Little Fairy, we have Super Kitty, we have Starlight Twinkle, like all of them are so cute. What is going on?
Is Old Man cute? Maybe. I mean, I don't. Yeah, sure. Look, they have the fiercest of team names over in China. The fiercest.
Isn't like PCEC's mascot a bear as well or something?
Look, you don't get fierce, you don't get more threatening than Fairy Thug.
True. You don't want to mess with a Fairy Thug.
you don't want to mess with a Fairy Thug, mate. Nah. Don't mess with them. I'll take you for all you're worth. True. Crazy. I wish the Fairy Thug was like the little fairy logo with like a gun or something. With like oh no.
But you're gonna say like it's the fairy, but it has like big muscles because working out.
Exactly. Yeah. They be thugging. True. Wish them all the best, though. Wish them all the best in 2 hours' time for the upcoming matches. And of course, we still have plenty of rounds to go to conclude the season, as it is round robin. So we have in total 15 rounds, 15 weeks of StarCraft, of Team League. Crazy. Wishing the best. Up next, we do have our regional events and show matches. Up first, we do have the GSC Global StarCraft Cup 2026 group stage, which did take place throughout the course of the last 2 weeks. One moment here. Here we go. Jesus. When it comes to group stage itself, this has who's running the event itself? Oh, Insane Massacres. Wait, there's an interesting collaboration.
It's the team event. Remember, I believe we did go over this event before they started, and this is like a collaboration between several community teams to pull a tournament together.
Yeah. We got Hokage T team, we got Marekos, we got The Void, we got Insane Massacres, we got Eximius as well. Interesting for them to come together and make their own team league, essentially. Okay, I mean, I say team league. The way that it works is it's individual matches, but each of the teams they're actually cataloging those points, right? They're actually taking note of the placement of the players, how far they go, and the teams themselves. They are actually recording and allocating points to their players based on how far they actually excel in this event. So currently we have Hokage T team in first place, followed by Maledekos, Eximius Gaming, Insane Master Killers, and Devoid. What I love is specifically the word points is puntos. So that tells us that maybe the people working
this is run in Spanish and translated into English. Yes.
There you go. I mean, there are Spanish teams here. Insane Master Killers, like they might be running the events. But yeah, an interesting GSL format featuring the players from all these teams. Coming to Group A, we have Shakti's playing. That's crazy. We got Matvi, we got Shakti, we got Clickman, and we got Nazgul. In the end, the Matvi, who I'm unfamiliar with, and Shakti making it through. They make it through in the end in first and second place. Then have Group B, Enigma, Kamikaze, Dark Unnamed, and Freeze. Ooh, Dark Unnamed. What were his results here? He took down Kamikaze 2-0, then he fell to Enigma, and then Kamikaze won in the rematch. That's an upset. I would call that an upset. Big win for Kamikaze and for Enigma as well. Group C, we have Mini Zerg. Oh, Jesus. He might be the best player in the league. We have Mini Zerg, UA. We have Dronehard, Draco, and Havertz. Is that the Draco? No, sure. No, I mean, if it was, like, I feel like he would have a Wikipedia page allocated to him, right? Like, that's... Hold on. Okay. Draco is Polish. Okay. I had to make sure, because I'm like, I know he's European.
I was gonna say, do we know a Swedish Draco? Because I did hear about the Polish one.
Yeah. So it's Polish Draco. Okay. Never mind. All right, so we have Minizerg alongside Dronehard. They're the top two players of Group C. They will make it through. They will advance on. Group D, we have Yingchuan, we have Zions, we have Nishishi and Nishihi even, and Dorminoko as well. Our Taiwanese player here, I'm very unfamiliar with. Very unfamiliar. It gets a walkover win over Zions and then takes the win over Nishihi. Zion's actually, there's a lot of forfeits going on here. Okay, did forfeit against Ying, did get the walkover win over Dorminoko, and then we saw Zion's taking down Nishihi 2-1 to advance on in Group D. Group B, we have players I'm less familiar with. We have Zargrash, we have Boreal, Draft, and Dane KK. Zargrash and Boreal, they make it through. Group F, we have Winkle, we have Protozaver, we have Gargoyle, and Austin. In the end, Winkle and Protozaver to make it through. Group G, we have Phalanger, we have Aelith, we have Pavipollo, and we have Espartano, as well as Phalanger and Aelith do advance on in Group G. Interesting. With that, we have Group Stage 2. Group Stage 2 here. Now, once again, as we did mention earlier, Minizerg UA, 100% best player in the league. He's the best player in the league. He's favored to make it through. So, I mean, actually, the group stage is taking place as we speak. He already takes down Nishihi 2-0, and we expect him to make it out in first place. In second place, I would imagine... Oh, I was going to say Matvi, but Kamikaze beat him. He cheesed him the hell out. Is there a world where Kamikaze comes out in second place? No shot. Like, I mean, like, no disrespect, but Kamikaze, he's an animal. Like, he's an absolute animal, Pap. He's not quite on the level of Homeowner, but he's up there. He's definitely up there. So, yeah.
Whenever I hear Kamikaze, I just remember him showing up to the Brazilian event with a crown.
Yeah.
That's my image of Kamikaze forever, just so you know.
He did. He's an animal. He's a clown. He's if he makes it, I don't know what to believe about this league if he makes it out of the group stage 2. Like, no shot. Like, best of luck though. Best of luck. Again, Minizerg, he's gonna be favored. I must say that Madvi should be favored as well, but maybe Kamikaze maybe pulls it off somehow. Maybe. Crazy. Best of luck. Best of luck. Coming to Group B, we have Enigma, we have Yingzhan, we have Clickman, and we have Dronehard as well. I do rate Dronehard quite highly, so I'm gonna predict Dronehard maybe first place, followed by Enigma. In saying that though, I don't know how to place Yingxuan, the Taiwanese Zerg player. I'm very unfamiliar. I was surprised to see him making it through the group stage 1. Might surprise us again. Might surprise me again here in group stage 2. Maybe. Wishing the best. Group C, we have Protozaver, we have Zargrash, we have Zions, and Phalanger. Coming into this, I do lean towards Protozaver and Phalanger. I do lean towards them, but best of luck to Zions and Zargrash. Likewise, Group D, we have Winkle, Boreal, Shakti, and Aelith. This is full of players that I don't really know much about when it comes to the German players. Winkle and Aelith, I've never been able to cast. Never had the luxury of casting them. I do rate Shakti quite highly. I do think that Boreal is maybe one of the weaker links here. But yeah, again, I'm very unfamiliar with Winkle and Aelith. I'm curious to see what they bring and what they offer here in the tournament. Wish them the best. Do wish them the best. As, they're very active when it comes to the Madalecos team. True. Madalecos. So wish them the best. And again, that's going to be taking place over the next couple of days, over the next couple of weeks, I should say, leading into the playoffs. Meanwhile, that leads us into Endgame. Okay, organized by Aztecs. Not his first tournament that he's organized, by the way. He's been running quite a bit. He's been running quite a number of events. And it looks like we have an interesting setup here from for the Hungarian scene. So Vortex. We have Vortex is a big Hungarian event, and it looks like they have constructed all of these individual tournaments leading into like a big. Is this an offline tournament? It is. It's an offline tournament in Budapest. Okay, let's go. Aztecs and Winter, the Hungarian players, they did organize a massive offline event here that's going to be happening over in Budapest with a decent prize pool as well. And to qualify for the event, you have to perform well in these separate tournaments. They're all like, you know, tied together by Vortex. First, we have Endgame. Endgame is a First, we have Endgame. Once again, this is all for Hungarian players. Single elimination tournaments. We have our best of 3s into best of 5. Finals, we have PSZ taking down Order 2-1. We have Nihed taking down Freeman 2-0. And then we have PSZ versus Nihed in the grand finals. Again, it's going to be a best of 5. Wishing the best. Wishing the best. Looks like this is a 4-player event. So we had 3 players coming in from the qualifier and 1 player invited. So wishing the best in the grand finals. Again, the champion and the winner of this event will be invited into Vortex, into that offline event in Budapest. Up next, we do have the Hungarian Pro Series number 7. Likewise, the top 3 players of this tournament also qualify for the offline event in Budapest as well. Here we do have our initial group stage. We have Nihed, Robbie G, Order, and Jugger. Jugger in Group A, Nihed and Robbie G, they do make it through out of Group A in first and second place. Group B, we have Freeman and Moston as well, advancing on over Pan and PSZ. That's crazy. Like, I rate PSZ very highly amongst the Hungarian players, but no, he is knocked out early on in the group itself. That is crazy. So we have our top 4, Nihed, Moston, Freeman, and Robbie G. 3 of these players will be qualified for the offline event. Bearing in mind as well that Nihed is also potentially going to be qualifying through the endgame events, so things might get a little bit chaotic there, as Nihed is also competing in that. But there's a world where maybe PSC wins that event and then Nihed qualifies through this, but we almost have confirmation that Nihed should make it through, unless the worst happens. But wishing the best. Wishing the best. Other events that are tying into the offline tournament, we have the Hungarian Pro Series Sunday Cup number 1, we have the Sunday Cup number 2, and then we have the Last Chance Qualifier as well. All coming into play. So yes, it's really cool. It's really cool to see what Winter and Aztecs have brought together. Really cool to see the Hungarian scene like actually have an offline events. Let's go. Like, to bring everyone together, to bring together all these like-minded individuals that enjoy StarCraft, to make something for the people, for the local community as well. We always do champion that sort of thing. So really cool to see. Wish them all the best. The offline event will be taking place in, the group stage, the online portion takes place in 5 weeks' time, and then the offline portion, it will be taking place in August. Okay, it's a ways away, but August is the date for Vortex. Up next, we do have Outsiders Season 1. I don't know what it is. I appreciate what Comeback TV do. I appreciate what they do. Very rarely is there like a theme when it comes to like the names of the tournaments they run, because they run a lot of tournaments. They run a lot of tournaments, and here we have the Outsiders. Why is it called Outsiders? Basically, it's open to all French players except for Clem. I guess he's the insider and everyone else is the outsider, question mark. But big French tournament, and a fun fact, the semifinals and the grand finals took place in a bar in Paris, France. Let's go. So here we go. From the qualifier, we had Deca, we had Funk, not to be confused with Funka. Sure, he was casting. We had Petit Drogo, we had Rom. Hey, Drogo's playing. Let's go. We had Pingu, we have Taquito, we have Tacman, we have Hino and Minimath. They were all making through the qualifiers. Invited was Arrowfire, DNS, Shadown, and Shino. Interesting. First things first. Shadown and Arrowfire, they're very inactive nowadays. Very, very inactive, which is a shame. Like, they're both really good players. They're both like some of the younger up and coming players, and they excelled when it comes, even a couple of years ago. Like, there were some of the players that we were looking at to like break out. That they were basically like the equivalent of like Cristiano and Geralt at the moment, right? And young Yakov and Gigi Machine, where they were like on the cusp of like breaking up into the upper echelons of European players. But they both stepped away. And they've been both very inactive as of late. Basically, when WTL ended, right? When WTL ended, when Berserker let go of a bunch of players, when Platinum Heroes let go of a bunch of players, when that occurred, that's when Shadown and Arrowfire and many others, like they just stepped away. They haven't been really playing much. So really cool to see them invited. Really cool to see them come back. Obviously, they're going to be a little bit out of practice. From what we're used to seeing. But I'm happy to see them playing. Happy to see them taking part, and I hope to see more. Hope to see more of them in the future. I want more Shadown. I want more Arrowfire. More DNS. Gibbs, Pappy Gibbs. I'm just double checking, and yeah, Shadown, he hasn't really played since like 2024. Basically, that was the last time he was like actively playing. He played he played like 1 or 2 tournaments in 2025. Played in Gamers Assembly, and likewise played a little bit in 2026 this year. Little bit. Cool. Same can be said for our fire. Now, when it comes to the playoffs, here we had Funk. Funk takes down Deca 5-2. Ooh, a bunch of best of fives. Jesus, oh my, it's all best of fives. Oh my god. But Funk takes down Deca 3-2. Does fall to DNS in the quarterfinals. But again, a bunch of ace matches here. DNS barely takes down Funk. That is surprising to me. Coming into this tournament, I would say that DNS is the most in form and he is the most favored as he's been making a bunch of content as of late. But a very close series versus Funk. Then takes down Arcfire 3-0. Arcfire took down Rom earlier in the tournament. Drogo takes down Attackman. Shino takes down Drogo. Again, Drogo at one point was one of the best players outside of Korea, but nowadays, he's been, busy growing out his hair and hitting the gym. That's all I know about Drogo. That's have you seen his hair, Kura? Like it's luscious.
I have.
Huge.
I have, in fact. It's pretty
It's
cool.
crazy. he's
remember?
like become the.
Remember Moonglade back in the day?
I was literally about to say he's become the European Moonglade.
Yes.
Oh no, right. I was just about to say that.
It was like,
Oh
there's
my
no
God.
Moonglade. We have to bring that back.
We need like a herbal essence sponsor for Drogo. We need like the luscious shampoo. Like it's crazy. Like it's, oh my god. But yeah. So Drogo he gets knocked down by Shino again. He's he's too busy grooming his hair to play StarCraft nowadays. But great to see him again.
Hey, he's
Hino
also
takes down-
studying, from what I know, or maybe he just finished. I'm not sure. But
No. He's too busy with the hair. Too busy. Hino takes down Pingo 3-2. Then does 4 to Shinown. Shinown, he 3-0s Hino. He 3-2s Shino. Very close series there in the semifinals. And then Shinown takes down DNS 3-0. That is a crazy win for Shinown, by the way. As I mentioned, DNS, in my mind, he was coming in as the most informed player. Shinown hasn't played in years. Hasn't played seriously in years. But he 3-0 DNS. That's crazy. That's PvP. Sure. that was a short series, that one, 100%. But remember, the semifinals onwards was all played at a gaming bar as well. So great to see Comeback TV organize an event for the local French community, excluding Clem, but maybe they brought him on as like a caster or something. Like that would have been fun to bring him on like as a caster or to have him involved in some way, shape, or form to promote the event. Regardless, congratulations to Shinown for claiming the win, 3-0 over DNS. GG, well played. Up next, we have the Kebab Cup. Let's go. Because obviously, when you think of kebab, you think of Germany. God damn it.
you're laughing, but from what I hear, that's not far off.
Specifically Homestory Cup. Like that's. I feel in my mind when I think of Homestory Cup, I think of kebab because it's like a bunch of local kebab stores around Homestory Cup. But I think you can say that about a lot of places in Europe. To be fair.
Yeah, I mean, Poland also has a lot of kebab places. So hey.
I was about to say that unironically, like
unironically, we have a lot.
There was a kebab
places.
place in every street. End of every street.
Maybe not every street, but there's a lot of them.
Every street.
And they're not like
sometimes to a street. So
no. You see how it is, in like a lot of other countries, like maybe I don't know, maybe like America and stuff. You have a lot of like Asian food kind of places. It's kind of that, but for kebabs. We just have kebabs everywhere.
Oh, the kebabs.
Of course, most of them probably not very authentic, but some of them can be pretty good.
Yeah, I'm curious what the that's interesting. So this is for the Dutchmen, citizens and residents only, and that interested me because Minizerg was a part of this. I'm like, he's Ukrainian, but I guess he might be living in Germany. If this is for citizens and residents only,
I'm pretty sure
either he's living there or he might have dual citizenship. That's the other option.
Yeah. Also, as you can see, Astra is also living in Germany, as far as I know. I guess.
True.
So
true.
There are multiple people who actually have dual citizenship or are just living in Germany.
Yeah, I just saw they gave him the German flag. There you go. I don't think I've seen that before for Astra, but so for the event itself, we have Moja. He takes down Tenens 2-0 to advance on to the upper bracket finals. We do rate Moja quite highly. I think I would have even favored Moja, but no. Sagrash, we saw him in the earlier tournament in the Maralekos event. It's good. No Vortex. Not endgame. The collaboration tournament.
There's GSC Global StarCraft Cup 2026.
Yeah.
Season
GSC,
1.
Yeah.
Match 1.
GSC. So We saw him in GSC, and I was like thinking less of it. Like again, like in my mind, Moja, he's like one of the stronger like German players out there. But no, Zagan actually takes out Moja 2-1. Winkle, likewise, he's also a part of that event. Takes down Regal 2-1. Takes down Mini Zerg 2-1 as well. Big win there for Winkle. Oh my god, I got to change my predictions because Winkle and Zaglash, they make it all the way to the upper bracket finals, and they have a rematch in the finals as well. Winkle takes down Zaglash 2-1 and 3-1 in the grand finals. Winkle, he will win the entire Kebab Cup, and I'm sure he earned himself a big, juicy kebab. Beautiful. But GG well played. Congratulations. There better be. Congratulations to the Winkles. Let us claim the series 3-1 over Zaglash. And again, both of them are playing in the previous GSC event. I might have to favor them instead. I was saying that, like, in my mind, Mini Zerg was the favorite player in that tournament. But no, never mind. Like, I've been sleeping on some of these other German players, which I've never seen play before, but clearly have the skills to back it up. So GG well played. They do come out on top here. Winkle does claim the tournament, and wish them the best in GSC. We do wish them the best. Up next, we have our Brazilian tournaments here. We have Convergence Cup number 30. Here, this is a Brazilian-only tournament every 2 weeks. Bi-weekly tournaments every fortnight. It does take place. And here we did have Eric Est. He's one of our own, Papi El Patito, with a very strong showing. Actually, takes down Arez 2-0, takes down Elevolts 2-0, takes down Master 2-0 as well. Master often is a finalist and often does go toe-to-toe with Eric, but here a stronger showing by Eric leads us into the grand finals, 3-2 and all the way to the ace match. That's a strong showing. I feel like Inexorable's been asleep for a while. Like, I feel like his results have been lackluster in my mind. He's been struggling these past couple of events for Convergence Cup, but here he redeems himself, makes it to the finals, takes down Papito, and goes to the ace match against Eric. All the way to the ace match, goes the distance here. Eric does claim the series. Congratulations, but a shout to Inexorable because we have not seen him have a performance this strong in quite some time. GG. Maybe it's because it didn't play against Protoss. True. Maybe. But GG well played, and Inexorable performed well here tonight, and congratulations to Eric. That leads us into Convergence Cup Latam Edition. Again, this is the event for Latino America, open not just to Brazil, but all of Latino America instead. And for the first time, Cham competes. Cham has not been playing. It's been Juanito, it's been Special, Master, Eggs, Eric. Cham has not been taking part, but here that changes everything. He takes down Glibo 2-0, takes down Master 2-1. Master, the only player to threaten Cham. Again, Master, he is one of the best, if not the best pros player in Latino America. It's a shame they faced so early on. Would have been great to have seen Master on the other side of the bracket. Regardless, Cham does take down Master. Cham takes down Inexorable 2-0 and takes down Huevito, Eggs 3-0 in the grand finals. Who seeded this tournament? Why do we have Cham, Inexorable, and Master all on the same side, and Eggs, he's all on his own? Eggs is all on his own. Shaking my head, baby, shaking my head. But GG well played. Cham does claim the win here, takes down Eggs 3-0, and again, shout out to Master for being the only player to force the ace match out of Cham. Congratulations. And shout out to Cosmos. Shout out to Cosmos for hosting, running the event, sponsoring the event as well. Convergence, of course, as well, for the Latin edition and for the Brazilian edition as well. GG well played. That leads us into Legacy Weekly Japan, the weekly tournament for Japanese players. And where is my boba? Yeah, there it is. Tapioca takes down Sayark 2-0, takes down Nisizao 2-0, takes down Noe Shirayuki 2-0, takes down Albion, a player that I've not seen in the bracket before or not noticed. That's a player that I'm not used to seeing here. Albion takes down Crimson, takes down Deadly Kitten, takes down Kaiman. These are regulars. Who the hell is Albion? Who is this guy? Okay. GG well played. Went all the way to the finals. Does fall in the finals of Tapioca, but I mean, hey, that's Boba. What can you do? Tapioca does claim the win, doesn't drop a single map. But at the same time, I'm very impressed by Albion to make it to the finals. He's a newcomer here, and I have not seen him make it. He's not been to the finals before, so a strong showing there from Albion. GG well played. A new challenger has appeared. True. A new challenger has arrived. Double checking. With that leads us into the StarCraft 2 Weekly Open Tournament 2026 Season 1, Number 5. This is the Chinese weekly tournament that is funded by Thunderfire. So again, there's a lot of prize money here on the line. Master prize pool of 500 USD. Here we got the best players in all of China facing off in all the Chinese region, I should say. Here we have Lemon, geez, oh my god, takes down YRYF, takes down Jola Loves, shakes down, is that, no. Who is that? Is that Nanyu? No, Nanyu's Zerg. Who is that? That's Shafei. I need to start remembering Shafei. He's a popular player. Takes down Shafei 2-0 and takes down Jeshi 2-0. Oh my god, doesn't drop a single map here. Este Lemon takes down Jeshi 2-0 to advance on and to become this week's champion. GG, well played. I will say that the lower bracket seemed to be a little bit more stacked here. We had Triple H, we had Jeshi, we had Miggy, we had Cyan. Unless I'm not mistaken here, I don't see Millennium Fox. No way, I do. I believe that's Millennium Fox playing against Jolo Loves, correct? No, that's not Millennium Fox. Kingslayer got knocked out in the first round. Kingslayer got knocked out by... Oh yeah, Shafei got the second time by Shafei. Where's Millennium? I didn't see him. Yeah, I didn't play. Okay, Millennium didn't play. I didn't see Nanyu either, unless that's Nanyu against Cyan. That's Tsukino. Yeah, that's Tsukino. I didn't see Nanami Chiaki. Yeah, so we're missing a couple of regulars here, but regardless, Lemon does claim the win. Not the first time he's won this, by the way. Lemon, he's typically the dominant force in the region, and does come out on top over Jeshi. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Lemon for claiming the win. That leads us into our show matches of the week. That leads us into the Inu battles. The Inu battles have been very irregular. This is the first one of 2026, and I'll be honest, I was very tempted to reach out to cast this event, but we've just been so bogged down and so busy casting everything. I know Kura's thankful that we didn't add something else to the list of things to cast.
No, right, let's add more. Let's add more.
Yeah,
we have some space.
Going.
We have some space. You're still sleeping at night, so we have space.
True. Cast more. Crack the whip. Keep going. There's no English coverage. There's no English coverage for this event, so because of that, like, I'm very, very tempted to start casting this event at some point once we catch up with maybe some of our backlog. That's definitely something that I'm looking at. We'll see. We shall see. It's quite a big event, though. I mean, again, best of nines. Like, it's intimidating. 2 best of nines every event, pap. Yeah. Zan takes down Byan 5-0. Just strong showing there, but calm down, Zan. Calm down. Takes down 5-0. Meanwhile, Byan takes down Rogue 5-4. So again, Zan claiming the win over Byan. Byan claiming the win over Rogue in the Uni Battles number 14. Again, no English coverage. I'm tempted to cast it live in English as well, but depends on our schedule. And at the same time, we do want to kind of take it easy coming into May and June. At the same time, that hasn't stopped us before. We'll see. Tempted though. Tempted.
I was gonna say, you say exactly the same line since January. It's every week. No, we're gonna like slow down. We're gonna like cut down on the gas. We're gonna ease off. Look, the next map looks quite empty, so we can relax. What other lines have you said?
One day, I'm gonna say it enough where I can manifest like an emptier month where we can actually sleep properly.
We almost caught up on the replay cast. Don't worry, we only have a few replay casts left.
True.
And that's when you send me like 10 more packs.
We did just catch up with Pegasus Cup, okay? Unironically, we caught up with Pegasus Cup. We're all caught up. Where we caught up with SEL until we didn't. We did until we didn't. Caught up with the
have you heard? They just announced a new SEL.
Yeah. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
I'm just saying, I'm looking at the schedule right now, and June is looking pretty empty. Okay, June is looking pretty good.
Don't say that.
It looks like June might be the month where we could actually, get some sleep.
Guys, you heard it here first. There's gonna be 3 major tournaments in June, all at the same time.
No. Unironically, Home Story Cup is at the end of June, so I mean, yeah, Smerch. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I'm just saying that Masters of the Game is coming up. Home Story Cup is getting. It's gonna be a lot of tournaments there.
Yeah. But you know what though? When they end, then
we start the next round.
Then GSL Season 3 gets funded, and then we get GSL Season 3. True.
Also RSL. I mean, the next season of RSL, right?
Yeah. True.
It's never ending.
One day we'll have a day off. One day. So again, maybe inner battles. That's what's gonna happen. We're gonna get some time off, and then bam, we throw in the inner battles, and then we just keep casting. Speaking of inner battles number 15, more show matches. We have once again Björn. Yo, Inner, he just wants Björn to play for him, baby. We have Björn versus Classic and Björn versus Shin. Classic takes down Björn 5-2. Shin takes down Björn 5-4. Again, 2 best of 9s. That is insane, by the way. Crazy. But Classic and Shin, they do claim their series. They claim the best of 9s, and they will be our Inner Battles number 15 champions. GG. GG will play. Again, these are invitationals, and they're invitationals, and they're taking place on a regular basis. Maybe. Again, these are the first 2 of the year. Do we get more? Hard to say. Maybe. Hope to see more of them in the future. And if we do, then we might cast them. Up next, we have our next set of show matches, the Bastards Big Brain Bouts, number 113. Here we have 3 show matches back to back to back. We have the Bastards one, we have the fun one, and we have the good one. For the fun one, we have Beast versus Steadfast. Oh, okay. Steadfast takes down Beast 3-2, went all the way to the ace match, actually. And this actually did take place on a different map pool. This is not the TLMC map pool, though, because we have... No, it is. Okay, yeah. We have the TLMC map pool as well, so great to see Rotterdam jump on the train of showcasing all the new maps. Do appreciate it. Again, Steadfast takes on Beast 3-2. We then have the good one, Pig versus the Muslim. Oh, it's a battle of the casters. The Muslim, who I can't remember the last time I've seen him play StarCraft. Pig does take down the Muslim 3-0. I feel like that was a little bit one-sided there, but sure. I don't know why that was the good one. That should have been the fun one. Yeah. You know what I would have liked? I think something would have been closer. Would have been Muslim versus Steadfast. That would have been a fun caster showdown. Would have been fun. Then we have the Bastards one. Rainer versus Bunny, 3-0 in favor of Rainer. Again, Bunny has been a little bit less active, a little bit more inconsistent in his play as of late, but I'm sure did put on a good show, showcasing all the new maps. That's really what matters most here, is showcasing as many maps as possible, showcasing Blackrock, Sanctuary, Washout, and many others. GG played. That leads us into the Bastards Big Brain Bouts number 114. 114. Once again, we have the fun one, Universe and Hackers Top. Ooh, went the distance here. Went all the way to the ace match, and Universe takes down Hackers Top 3-2. Went all the way to the ace match. Then we have Art versus Mixu in the good one. Art takes down Mixu 3-1 to take him down. Once again, these are full TLMC maps as well. Do appreciate it. We'll then have the Bastards one. This is Trigger versus Percival. Trigger takes down Percival 3-2. Also goes to the ace match. Goes all the way to game 5. Trigger barely does claim the win. GG, well played, and once again, great to see Rotterdam showcasing all the new maps. Great to see. The TLMC edition of the Big Brain Bouts. Up next, we have OC. We have the OC King of the Hill, number 245. Oh boy. This is the King of the Hill weekly tournament, of course. Winner stays on, loser is knocked out. And speaking of Arcfire, we just spoke about him suddenly showing up for the French Outsiders tournament. Here, Arcfire suddenly shows up here as well. Takes down Minizorg 1-0, takes down F2 Click, takes down Lelix, takes down Fiant before falling, and takes down Art as well. Oh my god, takes down Hon Mono. These are some big wins here for Arcfire towards the end, before eventually falling to Geralt. Geralt takes down Arcfire 1-0. Takes down Moja 1-0 as well. Does fall to GG Machine. Short-lived as he falls to Percival. Short-lived as he falls to P. Protoss. Unironically, this is a crazy result. Protoss Eba takes down Percival and takes down Cristiano. Those are huge wins. And Eba, he makes a mistake. He makes a mistake of playing Zerg. He plays Zerg in match 13. And then he falls. Then he falls to Sebestes. Sebestes takes him down. Seamus takes him down. And then Björn takes down Seamus.
I was gonna say, not only Iba takes Percival and Cristiano, but is he also Percival pretty good at TVP?
Yeah. He's pretty good. Yeah, Percival, he's a very strong player. Cristiano's a very strong player. Iba, he made the mistake of switching to Zerg, and then that's where his run ended. Regardless, Seamus takes on Sebestes, Björn takes on Seamus, and Björn ends as this week's King of the Hill. Congratulations to Björn. Shout out to Arcfire, by the way. I was most impressed by Arcfire and by Iba as well with his Protoss. Very impressive play. That leads us into King of the Hill weekly number 246. Oh boy, we have a fresh set of players here. We have, oh, the cow. We have Milky Cow. He pops off, takes down Mini Zerg, takes down Homono, takes down Pappy, takes down F2 Click, Argfire, Nickeract as well. Big wins for Milky Cow before eventually falling to Christiana. The Christiana, he does rock up. He does come out swinging, takes down Milky Cow, Lelix, GG Machine, Jumi. We didn't see Jumi previously. Great to see him again. It's been a while. Takes down Mid VK, Shameless as well. A massive win streak there for Christiana before falling to Young Yakov, before falling to Art, before falling to Geralt. Again, we had some bigger win streaks here in this event. Great to see it. Shout out to Milky Cow and Christiana for the longest win streaks, and congratulations to Geralt, for becoming the King of the Hill. That leads us into the King of the Hill weekly number 247. Geralt, he does start off as the King of the Hill, and he does actually get a couple of big wins. Takes down Christiana, takes down Bunny. Takes down Bunny, and takes down Jumi as well. Huge wins there for Geralt. Then we have a random creator. We just mentioned that creator, he is more or less like retiring, but hey, we see him pop up every now and then. Great to see. Creator takes down Geralt, takes down Lilix, does fall to Trigger in the end. Trigger does put an end to Creator's run before Percival takes the reins. Percival takes down Trigger, Mana, Art, Eva. He gets his revenge. There you go. Percival, he pops off in TVP, takes down Trigger, Mana, Art, Eva, and Fiance, and Nickeract before falling to Bjorn. Bjorn takes down Percival, and Bjorn, he does wrap it up, taking down Percival, Arcfire, and Nickeract, once again becoming this week's King of the Hill. GG. Shout out to Bjorn for becoming the King of the Hill. Shout out to Percival for going on a massive win streak, and shout out to Geralt and Creator as well for their wins on the board. That leads us into the OSC 2026 mid-season playoffs number 1. It has begun. It has begun here. It's a massive event, a massive bracket that is going to take a couple of months to get through. Double elimination, 40 players. We have day 1 of the event. Eba takes down MidVK, Fiant takes down Homeowner, Moja takes down Creature, went to the ace match, Arcfire takes down Azura, Shameless takes down Jumi. Shameless and Jumi facing off in the first round is brutal. That is brutal, but Shameless takes down Jumi. Nightmare takes down GG Machine, big win there for Nightmare. Percival takes down Art, and Young Yakov takes down Nickeract. Some sporadic matches there in the first day of broadcasting, and some big wins as well. Wish all the players the best of luck. Of course, it's going to be a massive tournament. We have some big names here. We got Max Pax, we got Solar, we got Barney, we got Showtime, Lambo, Bjorn, Christiana, Hearthstone, Skillus, Geralt, Baby Marine, and many others. Again, it's a massive tournament. Cure, that's the big one. Cure, he's also in the event. It's a massive tournament here, massive brackets, showcasing the best players in the online tournament circuit. Wish them all the best. Coming into this event, MaxPax is the favorite player. I would say that the biggest threat to MaxPax will be Cure. In my mind, Cure is going to be his biggest threat, but we have some other big names like Bjorn, Solar as well, Showtime. Anything can happen. GG. Best of luck to all the players, best of luck to all the competitors. That leads us into our Open Cups. we made it. Leads us into our Open Tournaments, and we have initially the Sparkling Tuna Cup, the SDC Tuna Cup number 129. TLMC edition. Here we go. Here we have our open tournaments featuring featuring 9 of the TLMC maps. Of course, we do our best to showcase those new maps. Here in this open cup, we have our top players. We have Bjorn. Bjorn takes down Universe 2-0, takes down Art 2-0, takes down Nightmare 2-0, takes down Strange 3-0. Bjorn with a massive run here. Doesn't drop a single map. I will say that the biggest upset in this tournament was Nickeract. Coming into this event, I was favoring Bjorn versus Nickeract in the finals. That's who I was expecting. I was expecting Bjorn versus Nickeract or Bjorn versus Christiana, Bjorn versus Percival, I meant to say. Bjorn versus Percival or Bjorn versus Christiana. But Nickeract takes on Percival 2-1. That's a huge win for Nickeract, by the way. Percival, he was favored to make it to the finals, but he gets knocked out in the quarterfinals in the TVT. Big win for Nickeract. Likewise, Strange took down Christiana. That was the other favorite player in my mind. Christiana also gets knocked down early on by Strange. Strange takes down Nickeract, and Strange does fall to Bjorn, but Strange had a very impressive run to the finals. GG well played. And once again, we do showcase the Team Liquid map contest maps as best we can. Likewise, so will some of these other events. Not this one though. WardiTV Monday. WardiTV Monday number 44. Now, this is my biggest criticism about the Wardi Mondays, is that unlike the other open cups, like the Monday Night Weeklies, Pegasus Cups, Sparkling Tuna Cups as well, we do our best to showcase the new TLMC maps. We do our best. Wardy does not. He has his own reasons, of course. He does keep his events sponsored and partnered with OSC. We do not. OSC, they do have restrictions when it comes to the map pool and what maps you can and cannot have. And having a full TLMC map pool will make you ineligible for the OSC points, and also for OSC sponsorship. So Wardy wants to keep that, so that's why he does not have TLMC maps in his tournaments. We forego that, not just us, but Monday Night Weeklies and Pickups Cups as well, because it's more important, at least in our opinion, it's more important to showcase these maps as much as we can, more so than having like OSC sponsorship.
I would still say there is a way to do that, because OSC does allow to change a few maps of the map pool, not the entire map pool, but a few of them. I think it's the limit is like 4 right now, so you could still like try to mix and match.
Yeah. Yeah, that Wardy, you could try. God damn it. As we do have Clem. Clem, he takes down Shameless 2-1, takes down Cure 2-0, takes down Classic 2-0, takes down MaxPax 3-2. Big wins here for Clem. Strong showing. Went all the way to the finals and all the way to the ace match against MaxPax. MaxPax, he likewise had a strong showing as well, taking down Ryung, taking down Nice, and taking down Lambo as well. I would say the biggest upset of this tournament was, there's a couple of them, was Lambo. Lambo taking down Bjorn was a big win. Huge win for Lambo to take down Bjorn 2-1. Bjorn was otherwise favored to advance on to face off against MaxPax, but he was denied that by Lambo. So huge win for Lambo. GG. GG, well played, and congratulations to Clem for claiming the win. That leads us into the Monday Night Weeklies. Monday Night Weekly number 49. Once again, showcasing a bunch of TLMC maps. Big shout out to Monday Night Weeklies and Comeback TV for making that happen, of course, with TKL. Coming into this event, Double Elimination. That is their unique format, of course. Classic. Classic takes down Young Yakov 2-1. Takes down Shameless 2-0. Takes down Solar 2-1 as well. Big win there for Classic as he takes down Bjorn in the grand finals. Even though this was the night of the WardiTV Monday, I don't see Clem. There's no Clem, there is no MaxPax either. So we missed the 2 finalists from the Wardy tournament. Here instead we have a more Korean heavy broadcast with Classic claiming the win and Bjorn making it to the finals. GG. GG, well played. It's crazy that we have a more Korean heavy tournament for the European Weekly and a more European heavy tournament for the Korean Weekly. What's Korean time slot? Interesting. That's shaking my head. Up next, we have Kung Fu Cup. Kung Fu Cup number 6. Here we have Hero. Hero takes down Lelix 2-0, takes down Shin 2-0. Hero was missing in the previous tournaments, by the way. He was not a part of the WardiTV Monday, he was not a part of Tuna Cup, and he was not a part of the Monday Night Weekly either. So here he was absent for those events, but here he does pop off. He takes down Shin 2-0, takes down Classic 2-1, but he does fall to Bjorn. This is a strong, maybe one of the strongest showings we've seen from Bjorn. Taking down Percival 2-0, Solar 2-1, and Hero 3-0. This is maybe telling of the GSL broadcast. Remember, Bjorn also beat Hero in GSL after this event. Also did occur as well. So again, maybe that this would have been a little bit of foreshadowing of what would occur in GSL. So GG, well played. A big win here for Bjorn. That leads us into Pixar Cup. Pixar Cup number 79. Here we do have, likewise, our open tournament featuring TLMC maps. Here we have Bjorn. Bjorn takes down Bamiaja 2-0, takes down Young Yakov 2-0, faces off against Clem in the finals, and Clem, he will claim the win without dropping a single map. 3-0 over Bjorn. Doesn't drop anything the entire broadcast. GG, well played. Again, Clem with a strong showing here, and once again featuring and showcasing the newer maps. That leads us into a new tournament. We don't know if this is going to be regular in any way, shape, or form, but Big Gabe, here in Marine, he did host his own tournaments here, an open tournament, Big Gabe Open number 1. Whether this becomes like a monthly, a weekly, a fortnightly, hard to say. It could just be a one-off event. Regardless, great to see him running his own tournament here. Great to see. Here we have a Clem. Clem takes down Percival 2-0, takes down Solar 2-1, and takes down Classic in the grand finals 2-1 as well. GG, well played. Clem, he will claim the win here and be our champion for the very first Big Gabe Open. He's the biggest Gabe. True. Este Clem. GG, well played. And again, we'll see if Gabe does host more of these events in the future. We'll see. We appreciate it, though. We do appreciate it. That leads us into the Lad Legends. Lad Legends Academy Open Showdown number 4. Once again, it's quite a name. It's SMH my head. With this event, though, we do have an open tournament. Okay, it's going to be an open tournament, open cup. It does feature regular ladder maps. Okay, regular ladder maps here. We have top players like Bjorn, we have Percival as well. They do face off in the finals. Bjorn takes down Ducklings, takes down Nickrat to face off against Percival in the grand finals, and it does go in favor of Bjorn. 3-0. 3-0 in favor of Bjorn. GG well played. Doesn't drop a single map here. Strong showing there by Bjorn. Speaking of Bjorn, we have Hatchery Cup. Hatchery Cup number 18, another open tournament here. Hatsu has been a little bit more irregular when it comes to the Hatchery Cups, but great to see a Hatchery Cup this month here, of course. Bjorn takes down Shino 2-0, takes down Young Yakov 2-0 as well, and then takes down Nickrat 3-0 in the grand finals. Big win here for Bjorn. Shout out to Nickrat for making it to the finals. He gets his revenge over Strange, takes down Minizerg, and takes down Art as well. I will say that Shameless has been having a harder time as of late. He fell to Art earlier. Did fall to Art, but GG well played. Bjorn does claim the win in this month's Hatchery Cup. That leads us into the WardiTV Monday number 85. Once again, we have our regular maps here for this week's WardiTV Monday. Again, this is for this week's Monday. Here we have Clem. Clem takes down Bjorn 2-0, takes down Shin 2-1, and then this time does fall to MaxFax. Last week, Clem beat MaxFax. This week, MaxFax takes down Clem. MaxFax, he has been looking very informed as of late. I mean, hey, he won the most recent RSL. True. He won RSL, takes down Solar, takes down Classic. That's a big win, actually. Like, I typically do favor Classic and Hero over MaxFax, but MaxFax, he 2-0s Classic, and he 3-1s Clem. Crazy, crazy. GG well played, MaxFax takes the win. That leads us into this week's Monday Night Weeklies, which also does feature TLMC maps. Once again, here we have Hero. Once again, he was missing in the WardiTV Monday. He just wasn't there. Here, Hero, he takes down Cure 2-1, takes down... Oh, does fall to Shameless. He's crazy. Hold on. Hero takes down Cure 2-1, and he falls to Shameless. Look at Shameless's run. He 2-1s Bjorn. He 2-1s Classic, and he 2-0s Hero. What the hell happened? He's Shameless, papi. Oh my god. After I just mentioned that he's been looking a little bit rough recently, and he was being knocked out. He got knocked out by Arts, but then he beats Classic and Hero. Crazy. And Bjorn. This is Shameless's week here. Very impressive showing. He makes it all the way to the grand finals, where he does fall to Hero. So Hero does claim the win, but I don't want to take away from Shameless's run here, though, because he was insane. He even beat Bly randomly. What is Bly doing here? Just the cherry on top. Beat Bly out of nowhere. Why not? 2-0's Bly, 2-1's Bjorn, 2-1's Classic, 2-0's Hero. Crazy performance here. Esther Shameless. Again, he's very young up and comer, and he's, as we mentioned before, he's very close to breaking up into the upper echelons of top European players, and this is a very strong showing by Shameless. Very proud. GG well played. Hope to see more of this in the future. Give us more, papi. Give us more. Up next, we have this week's Tuna Cup. This week's Tuna Cup number 130, of course, is our tournament. Also featuring a fresh set of TLMC maps. Here we have Hero. Here this time we have Hero and Bjorn. Hero takes down Art 2-0, takes down Trigger 2-1 to face off against Bjorn in the finals. Bjorn, he took down Classic to make it to the finals, by the way. Big win there for Bjorn, but eventually Hero does take Bjorn down at 3-0. Strong showing by Hero, making up for the Kung Fu Cup performance previously. Remember, in Kung Fu Cup, Bjorn 3-0'd Hero. Tuna Cup, Hero 3-0's Bjorn. So Hero does get his revenge in our Tuna Cup. Up next, we have Pegasus Cup number 80. This is this week's Pegasus Cup, of course, with a fresh set of TLMC maps. Here we have Clem. Clem takes down Cham 3-0 and takes down Bjorn 3-1. A bit of a more one-sided finals here. Bjorn does take a map, thankfully. Does take a map. It does have a back and forth here, but Clem does take the win and is going to be this week's Pegasus Cup champion. GG. GG, well played. Oh, yeah. There was a lot of tournaments to go through. that was a lot to go through, papi. Yeah. But we made it. And again, like I'm just most impressed by Shameless's run in the Monday Night Weeklies. Very, very impressed. And one of the things, of course, with Shameless is the consistency. Consistency is key, and it can be difficult to maintain that. So again, Shameless is always one of those players that we're looking at as well. Players like Shameless, Young Yakov, Gigi Machine, Percival, they have these strong performances every now and then, and hopefully we see more of that in the coming weeks and coming months. GG, papi, GG. And with that, that does wrap up this week's tournaments here, of course. That does wrap us up. Up next, we do have our sign-up list. If you want to take part in some of these events, you can do so. We have the command, !sign-up list in the chat. We'll give you a link to all the upcoming tournaments. We have SDO this weekend. We have the Tuna Cup in a couple of days. We have Kung Fu Cup, but we have MSO, Master Swan Open, WardiTV Mondays, Biggest Cups. We have plenty of events on the horizon here, and the sign-up list is the place to be. Of course, the other big event that we didn't really talk about was the Thermal 2v2 Last Chance Qualifier. That is going to be this weekend. This weekend, more 2v2 action. Last chance to make it into the playoffs. So do consider signing up. Do consider taking part for the last opportunity to make it into the playoffs of the 2v2 tournament. Likewise, if you want to support us and support our events like the Sparkling Tuna Cup, SDO, MSO, we do host a lot of events here on the channel. We do run them. If you want to support them, you can do so via Patreon. Our Patreon does directly fund those tournaments on a regular basis, and you can help us boost the prize pool even further and help us reach greater stretch goals. They're all there, all on Patreon. Thank you so much to all of our current patrons. And again, we do appreciate all the support. We appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, baby. Thank you. As with that, we are going to be wrapping up here for the week. Again, there was a lot to go through. As we mentioned previously, we did decide to push back our coverage of the new patch for StarCraft Evolution, and also our coverage of Beyond the Ladder and the Comeback TV podcast as well. We'll be discussing that next time. We were discussing. See, chat. I asked Gabe if this was a weekly, and he's thinking about it. We'll see. We shall see. Finally finished the 24-5 mid-season playoffs. True. They finally finished. Oh, no. So, chat, do you know why we only have 1 or 2 map rotations for the ladder? And so hard to run. I mean, from my understanding, I think that question has been posed, and I think Wax even answered it recently on Reddit about the frequency of TLMCs, and they've been thinking about maybe having it more frequent, but they don't want to make it too frequent, just because they want to give map makers time to make maps. Like, it takes a lot of time to actually make these maps, and the time, work, and effort to create them, to test them as well, to innovate on them and iterate on them as well. So the reasoning for that is just to give map makers time to actually make maps. You can make the argument to like have something like a dream pool or use unused maps, but often there's a reason why some of those maps don't make it further in the TLMC. I understand the argument to like to use the other top 16 maps at least, maybe, but yeah, at the moment that's something that like Wax and those working at TLMC are like juggling, is just how often they want to run TLMCs, how often they want to refresh the the ladder map pool. I think I wouldn't be opposed to every season is maybe too much, maybe even 3 times a year, right? 3 times a year, maybe. But yeah, we'll see what's kind of decided on when it comes to how often we have those rotations. But with that, we're going to be wrapping up. Going to be wrapping up here for the day. Again, our next broadcast should be tomorrow. Should be our rebroadcast coverage of GSL. That's going to be over the weekend. Likewise, we also have our own tournaments over the weekend. We have Ducklings Open and Sparkling Tuna Cup as well. So we have our events and GSL rebroadcasts. And bearing in mind, this Monday, GSL Season 2 qualifiers. GSL Season 1 isn't even done, by the way. It's not even done, but we have the Season 2 qualifiers on the 11th of May. That will be running instead of us covering WardiTV Monday. So we're not going to be casting WardiTV Monday that day. We'll be pushing it back to another day instead, and we'll be having a full night of GSL qualifiers. It's going to be a lot of matches, a lot of StarCraft. It's going to be intense. It's going to be intense. But with that, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for tuning in. We're going to be heading off for the time being. We'll see you guys over the weekend for GSL or over the weekend for our own tournaments as well. Thank you so much to Kuro. Shout out to Kuro for running the production side of things, for hosting the PondCast, and shout out to all those in the chat as well for tuning in live. And I hope you have a great weekend. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care. Hasta luego. Ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego. Till next time.